Go.
I always get paranoid like halfway through. It's going.
Well, I mean, we had it happen once.
What?
Where it went halfway through and then just stopped.
Yeah, no, but I started. I don't know why. Like, every episode, like halfway through, I just had this random.
That you missed the button or
something?
It was
like, yeah, random wave of anxiety. Like, I missed the button, and we've just been sitting here talking to ourselves this whole time. But
it is funny to think back. For the first, 4 or 5 episodes, every single one we had a technical difficulty.
Yeah, I was getting so, like, honestly, they ended up turning out pretty well, too.
No, they were. It's undoubtedly the quality is better in your basement. Like, we got to go back to your basement one of these days.
Yeah. I mean, when you on winter break?
My last exam's, I think, December 14th. So from then on. The
first podcast episode after December 14th.
Season 2.
Yeah, see, that actually wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah.
So, I mean, shows do that. Like, the Yak does, seasons, kind of.
Yeah. Honestly, this should technically kind of be our season 2 because
I don't know.
It's been our longest.
How many episodes did we do in your basement?
I have no idea. Probably.
Not.
I would say
6, 7,
7 or 8, maybe 9.
Yeah, because I remember saying the 10th episode. God, do I?
Yeah, I think.
Do I clap to do the intro or do I?
Yeah, we clap. You see, it's been 2 weeks. I've already.
No, jeez. I feel we say that often. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Who Would Have Thought podcast. My name is Ethan, joined as always by my co-host Nick.
I'm Nick.
Episode 15. Sorry we missed the past 2 weeks.
This is our first time, I think. You just said that we've been saying that too often.
Yeah, we've only missed a week.
Yeah, I think we've kind of been doing every other week up until this point, and now this has been 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. But we're both mad busy.
Playoff baseball is over for Nick, and probably after tomorrow night, it probably will be over.
It could be over tonight for you.
Oh yeah, I forgot they play in New York again tonight. Hopefully it's not over for me, but yeah, that's 2 weeks ago. Mets were playing, and then last weekend I had stuff come up from school at night, which kind of screwed that up. But we're back now for episode 15. A lot has happened in regards to sports. We've had fun on our weekends. Nick's got big plans coming up. So what we're gonna do this episode is we're gonna break it down to 5, 6, maybe 7 if one goes short, different topics, and keep them to 10 minutes. And I told myself I put a timer on my phone and already forgot.
Oh, good. It's hard to multitask.
It is. So I guess let's start with our weekends. Going 2 weeks back, anything, or even during the week, anything that interesting that you want to highlight?
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot to unpack in this episode, both non and our current events and just personal events. One, I think it's good to keep it short, just so we can fit it all in. 2, I feel like sometimes we go too deep into the rabbit holes, and so it'd be interesting for both getting everything in we want to talk about and just seeing
work on our efficiency.
Yeah, exactly. So we can talk more and keep everybody engaged. If we don't do that already, wow, that mirror's shaking. That's kind of weird.
Sorry if you can hear the washer too.
Yeah.
I for some reason love to do laundry on Wednesdays.
No,
shouldn't have started.
It literally looks like your mirror's possessed. It's shaking.
Why is the mirror? That must be in the other apartment. I don't think it's coming from mine. That is kind of scary, actually.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
You're just that ugly that it's on the verge of breaking, dude.
Joke's on you. I'm too short to see myself in the mirror, so it's not me. But anyways, what's been going on in my life? Since the last episode, I've been to Connecticut twice. Seen one of our very close friends twice there. That's always an interesting time. We go out in my college alma mater city, New Haven, which is always intriguing, especially kind of you get a little deja vu, kind of going back to
The old stomping grounds.
Yeah, exactly, the old stomping grounds. Thankfully, I didn't go back to the old stomping grounds when I was like 19 or 20, but
You stay away from those.
yeah, it's just, I mean, now I just feel weird going there.
Yeah,
even though they're cool places. It's
places you go, I feel like like it's okay maybe at certain bars or whatnot from your junior senior year, but like the places you would go freshman sophomore, it's like I shouldn't be going back to these.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it just feels weird. But that's what I did 2 of the last 3 weekends. Honestly, I don't remember what I did the weekend before last. This past weekend, went to New Haven and also came out in Albany with you. Celebrated Halloween both nights. Was Spider-Man both nights, so had to please the people with that one. I know everyone wanted to see that after all the comparisons over the years. So did that. Was super uncomfortable in the costume.
It was so funny.
In the clubs in New Haven, I was sweating my ass off, and then the zipper. It was a full zip-up costume. The zipper went from like my neck down to like my tailbone, and I couldn't reach it, so I literally had to have someone go to the bathroom.
I didn't go to the bathroom to unzip it down.
Yeah.
And then the zipper broke, but thankfully that was like
at the very end
through Saturday.
Yeah, so I mean, I made it,
or maybe even further. I don't know.
I probably wore it for a total of 8 hours, I'd say, and then it finally broke.
Mm-hmm.
Threw it away in the trash Sunday morning.
There's no time off as a superhero, dude. You had to be 8 hours putting in a whole.
Yeah, I was. It's hilarious because the amount of people, like, I mean, Spider-Man obviously is just so popular, and the amount of people that were going like, hey, Spidey, like, was kind of hilarious. Mm-hmm. But did the classic, I think, Spider-Man 2 meme on Sunday morning, because since it was broke, I really threw it in the trash.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, I'm going to try to remember to put that picture up on the screen right now, because that's hilarious, and that's literally what I did. But, yeah, other than that, that's kind of it. Been super busy with work, boring stuff I won't bore the audience with, and I'm preparing for a trip, which has been a little stressful, but it will be worth it next week. So that's kind of what I've been up to. What?
None.
It's true.
I'm trying to think. For like, I don't know if I have like just bad memory, or the weekends just kind of mixed together. What did I do last weekend? I think I went home and hung out with family and was in Saratoga for a couple farmers markets, which was nice. And then, this weekend I'm going to be going to another Halloween party, which I'm excited for. My girlfriend is currently at Spirit Halloween. I said 50 or like $60 limit, buy me whatever costume you want and surprise me. So that'll be interesting.
That's risky business.
Yeah, we'll see.
Risky business.
We'll see. And then my girlfriend and I hosted a Halloween party last weekend. The one Nick was talking about at our apartment complex, which was really fun. I was Ash Ketchum, and my girlfriend was Pikachu from Pokemon, which I thought was a really good costume, and surprisingly got like a lot of shout outs when we were at the bar.
I didn't hear it.
I had somebody, he's like, yo, Ash, can I get a photo with you? And then like another car was like honking at me. I'm like, what are these guys doing? And then they like rolled down the window, they're like, Ash Ketchum, which is pretty funny. I'm trying to think. Yes, I've had school. I had midterm last week or 2 weeks ago, which also is another factor that kept me busy.
No one cares.
Yes, it was actually about I don't think I have much more.
It's just been grind during the week to play on the weekends, like, for lack of better terms. But for both of us, it seems like. But
I don't have any interesting plans coming up like Nick, which we'll talk about his in a little bit. Which we have a cool idea.
Oh yeah.
That we may try to implement in, but maybe we'll say that.
No normal podcast next week. There may still be some content next week. Is the moral of that story.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do you want to get into first? A lot to unpack. Both exciting, not exciting, kind of depressing in some cases for us. What do you want to get into first?
Gosh. Do we want to? Let's hop into a sport.
Let's do sport. Let's do baseball because it's most relevant and intense right now.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, Survivor, and then like basketball, football a little bit. Okay, so give your thoughts on baseball. Your team has made it farther than mine, so I'll give you that liberty to go first.
So where I stand right now is it's mostly just disappointment. Like, we come all this way, and whenever your big guy, your big name player just plays horrible, it's like, all right, well, like what are we doing here? And Aaron Judge has just been like atrocious. Other guys have stepped up. The pitching has not been good. We can't get out of like the first 2 innings of like any game without letting up a home run. We got
Freddie Freeman is just.
Yeah,
Freddie Freeman is just a menace.
He owns us right now.
Yeah.
We got Cole on the mound tonight, which, our ace, hopefully we can sneak away another win and then take one, not take one, we got to win every single game out from now, but, it's possible. It is. I don't know if it's ever happened down 3-0 in
not in the World Series, but it's happened one time in the MLB playoffs in general, and it was the Red Sox over the Yankees, and I forget the exact.
Of course, it was over us then.
Yeah, but it could be like redemption almost.
Yeah. I mean, we have the talent to do it. I mean, but we're also facing the Dodgers, so the Dodgers have the talent to not let that happen.
Ohtani's hurt though.
Yeah, he's playing though.
Yeah, I feel like he's more of a decoy than anything.
Yeah, Stanton's been good. Rizzo for his limited up at bats, he's been fine. Glaber's been all right. It's nice to get to this point. It's awesome, but it also sucks to if we lose tonight, it sucks to lose in a fashion like gentleman's sweep.
Yeah,
that's where I'd stand on it.
Let me ask you this: you mentioned Judge and kind of how he's fallen up short. I know you're not historically huge into baseball, but I mean, it's pretty. If you know anything about the Yankees, he's kind of historically
not good in the playoffs.
Been horrible in the playoffs compared to what he normally is. His average is below 200, lifetime in the playoffs. Do you think? But the playoffs are relatively short. Even in probably, I think 7 or 8 playoff appearances, I would guess he's played probably 50 to 60 games in the playoffs. If I take a wild guess, do you think? But it's the same story every year. Do you think it's a coincidence, or do you think he just actually gets for me personally, I like to bust on Yankees fans saying he's not clutch, but it almost
it gets to a point.
Drastic difference between his regular season play and his playoff play is so large. It almost seems like he's nervous or something.
Yeah, which is that's a factor that people I feel don't take into account enough when it comes to professional sports. They're professionals and they should be able to show up at any moment, whether it's game 100 during the season or if it's game 7 of a World Series, but it makes a huge difference. And no matter who you are, you're gonna be nervous, especially when you're the top dog and have that expectation. I was thinking today about people, because I saw a text from a buddy of ours regarding basketball, the YMCA league.
Oh gee.
And I read it, and it was I love being the underdog, and I know you like being the underdog too, right? I feel you're an odds stacked against you type of guy, but
a little bit. I wouldn't say I have a chip on my shoulder per se, but I use it as fire sometimes. Yeah,
I feel some people who say they have a chip on their shoulder or being the underdog use that as an excuse because they don't like having expectations on themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
Because if you're the best player on your team, people expect you to be phenomenal. But if you have nothing to lose because no one expects anything out of you, it's probably going to be easier to play well.
Yeah, I feel kind of underdogs and people with chips on their shoulders. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same situation because it's.
I feel for some,
as an underdog / person with a chip on their shoulder, people aren't necessarily expecting a lot out of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the fact that they are that underdog or they have that narrative that they're a chip on their shoulder, that means people are paying attention to you.
It's true. I guess so.
You have more. I feel like in that case, you have more expectations than a middle guy that's not great, not good, or not great, not horrible, but in so much in the middle, so that they're not good enough where they're being talked about a lot, but they're not bad enough where they're being like clowned.
Yeah.
Also, so it's.
Yeah.
I mean.
Either way, I think Judge is obviously not an underdog or has doesn't have a chip on his shoulder at all. But he's the top guy and has that expectation, which adds to the nerves considering the fact where they are. But he's also getting paid how much money?
I think it's 9 years, $360
Yeah.
million, so $40 million a year.
You gotta, meditate or spend as much money as you need to learn how to get rid of those nerves, dude. Because you can't.
I don't know if that's money can't buy everything.
No, I know.
That's kind of a soft skill.
I don't know. I think he's probably really nervous, but I think you gotta get a way around that, dude. You gotta step it up one way or another, else no one cares if you win the regular season.
Yeah.
I don't care if we win the AL East. Who cares about that?
Yeah, I mean, and they had a cakewalk to the World Series too.
I know. No, they had
the World Series this year. No disrespect to Cleveland or Kansas City, but
not great teams.
Yeah,
we dodged better.
The Dodgers' path was drastically.
Yeah.
Which one could say prepared them.
Padres.
That's it. Yeah. Because they were the ones.
Because they got the vibe first.
But
I don't know. It scares me knowing Soto may not resign if we lose, which I know you're loving that.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I heard that he's gonna go to the top bidder, which looks like.
You guys aren't nervous to spend money, that's for sure.
We're not nervous to spend money, and we have $200 million coming off the books. So right now the Mets had the most money going in.
We're probably gonna lose Rizzo.
That's not much to pout about, to be honest.
I like Rizzo.
Rizzo's a great clubhouse guy.
Yeah, it's a guy no matter what you hate losing. Stanton's not getting any younger.
Yeah, but he's playing great.
Yeah,
I think he's kind of the. He had a chip on his shoulder, like the chip on the shoulder analogy. He has a chip on his shoulder because he's kind of been known for underperforming as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he kind of was flying under the radar. So
still making an absurd amount of money to where it's like.
But
he got a chip on his shoulder by playing so bad because he should have been good. The way he earned that chip on his shoulder is different than most.
Not good. But
I don't know if we lose Soto. I don't know how excited I'll be for next season. I mean, Volpe's obviously fun to watch, young dude. But
I don't know how much they got going for them if they lose Soto.
Not a lot. Pitching's kind of old.
Yeah, they're the Yankees. They'll figure it out. They haven't had a below 500 record in a few decades. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. And as far as Aaron Judge, I kind of talk smack about him a lot to other Yankees fans just because that Mets-Yankees rivalry, but I mean, in reality, he seems like a good guy.
He seems like.
I don't want him to get I don't want him to get persecuted by the New York.
And I don't think he fully will because we wouldn't be in the position we're even in. Yeah, he's sucking in the playoffs, but we didn't earn the 1 seed in the American League East or be the second best team in all third best team in baseball without him.
Yeah. Speaking of brutal Yankees fans, did you see the guys trying to rip the ball out of Betts?
That is insane.
That was the most psychotic.
Funniest thing though. I thought it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Give me your glove.
It was hilarious, but I actually watch it, even in real time watching it, and especially the replay of it. I mean, they could have hurt.
It is a little scary.
And he was
just grabbing your arm, and you're almost dangling.
Yeah, and he's kind of a short guy, so he's kind of he was kind of getting pulled, and his wrist was kind of. Yeah, it was a little. I mean, and he's so good. Not that it really matters if you're good or not.
If something were to happen.
But yeah, I mean that could have been really bad, and the Yankees didn't even ban him for tonight. The MLB had to ban him, which is crazy. But and then they got him up to the Barstool office though.
Really?
Yeah, they recreated.
Of course they did.
I know. Of course. The Barstool Mets and Yankees fans are insane.
I think the Mets more than the Yankee fans.
The Mets fans are quirky.
That's
the Mets aliens.
Yeah.
The Yankees ones are
they're normal. I guess
they're more intense though. Like those guys.
Yeah.
They would fit right in with those guys that tried ripping the glove off.
I think knowing that he didn't get hurt from that instance made it funnier. If he got hurt, that would have sucked. But just the thought of you're at a baseball game and someone goes for to rob a home run, like, I'm just gonna try to just steal his glove.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try to grab his arm, and like the other guy, like, he's got the glove opening it. It's like a heist.
Apparently,
baseball.
they had a quote. They got interviewed by some guy from ESPN. His name's Jesse Rogers, and they said that they were planning, they were not planning to hurt Mookie or anything like that, but they said that they were planning on, if the ball came to them, they said playing D on the wall. Like, they were like, this is our territory.
All right, honestly, I love it then.
That's insane, but
playing defense in the crowd. It's like the Savannah Bananas, like catching that.
It is. It's hilarious, but it doesn't. It's hilarious because it doesn't seem real, because it shouldn't be real.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that would be hilarious to watch on a TV show. It's a little more vile and disturbing that it's
knowing that it's real life.
That it's
that's
real.
An actual person who you're doing that to.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
One of ESPN's main or second main baseball guy, I'm pretty sure. His name's Jeff Passan. He was on.
Yeah, I see him all the time on Twitter.
Yeah, he's a dog, but on Twitter and stuff. Kind of like Woj for basketball, RIP. But
not dead, just that same.
Yeah, not just dead at ESPN.
But Shams.
Shams bomb. But he was on McAfee today, and he was like, just to be clear, like, you're not cool. Like, he was like, do not do this. Like, I don't know. Yankees fans are intense. I'm not sure if I'd expect any other fan base.
No, I mean, like, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of, like, the Yankee fan base at times. Like, it kind of reminds me of, like, the Knicks, where they're so brutal.
Yeah.
If a player starts playing bad. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, whenever my guys and my team start playing bad, I'm not like, oh, like, I'm going to trade you. Like, I hate you. Like, I'm like, all right, well, like, hopefully they pick it up. Like, me, talking negatively about them isn't, obviously, they don't know, obviously. Yeah. But, like, booing at the stadium, I don't think that's going to change anything. And I know there's, like, people trying to create a movement from when Judge stepped up to the plate last night for the first time to give him like a standing O, like they did for Trey Turner on the Phillies a couple years back, and it worked for him. And that's, as cheesy as it sounds, like, I think when someone's down bad, like, you got to try to uplift them. Us booing isn't gonna make it any
It's gonna get their head more unless you have to be built different.
Unless they're or like they're a bad person, or they simply don't. Like, it's one thing to play bad, but you're trying, versus like somebody who's just blatantly not trying. Which I feel like
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, like Anthony
he's not a bad person, but that was pathetic. I need a blow.
Took himself out.
I need a blow.
Or like, I don't know all the details, but like Andrew Wiggins, like on the Wolves.
Last year. You know more about
dude,
that.
You got from what it looked like you got a bag, and like you didn't really seem like you. He was still playing pretty hard, but like didn't seem like he had much emotion at all.
Business decisions.
Yeah. Do you have anything more you want to add about baseball as my washer goes in overdrive?
It wasn't that bad. The
noise.
Yeah, the first time.
Okay.
I don't think we've recorded the podcast since the last time the Mets.
I think they're still going. Still going.
Yeah. Only thing I gotta add about that, it was a good run. I was just so locked in. And I don't
know if I've ever seen you as locked in for any sport.
I'm a different type of obsessed when it comes to the Mets. I'm not sure if it's because they haven't won it all, but I'm a different type of locked in. Like, screaming at the TV, like not punching, but like tapping the floor, tapping.
I get that for Wolves playoffs.
Yeah. Like
the past 2 years, that's like if we lose it, my next couple of days is ruined.
I was so sad. The Mets lost on, I think they lost on Sunday. They lost on a Sunday. And I was so sad that whole next Monday. I was working, but I was like listening to like Mets. I was like listening to Mets hype videos and stuff.
Silence my
yeah, I came across this Mets Coldplay edit on TikTok, and I was like so hurt. I was like not that bad, but pretty close.
Yeah.
I was so sad, but it was like the funnest year I ever had watching the Mets.
And that's all you can really ask for other than a World Series.
Yeah, it was such a wild roller coaster ride. Unless you were like really tuned in, it's kind of hard to understand.
I will say our 10 minutes is fast.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Shout out to the Mets. That was a hell of a year. I hope some of like the main guys like Manaya, Iglesias can return. Obviously, they can't all return, and there's a lot of them that are free agents. But I hope the main ones can return. The ones that really kind of Sevy too was a beast, and I hope we just add Soto. Some of those returning guys and
that would
some
hurt. That would
additional
really hurt.
pieces, and I think we could make a run next year. I think this year was the building block for future success, and that's all I gotta say about the Mets.
Yeah, I hope by the time our next episode comes out, the Yankees are World Series champions.
Yeah, it's either by next episode they'll be.
It'll be
over.
confirmed, done.
I mean, even though we're not doing next week, it would normally be over.
Yeah.
Because it's done by Saturday at the latest.
All right, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Survivor. Speaking of surviving.
Yeah, and shout out my shirt.
Yes,
I'm trying to think.
I think I've had 3 straight people voted out, right?
Yeah, so let me pull up on my phone real quick on the notes app.
Yeah, let's just quickly tell the standings of our Survivor draft. Give quick, brief thoughts on.
It's done. I'm gonna turn this up real quick.
Yeah, we're just gonna go over the results of our current Survivor draft, just who's gone on which team, on which people that we've drafted, and then just give our quick thoughts, and we'll move on to football and basketball, and then on to some random stuff, and that'll be that.
So on my side, I had John go out first at 18, TK at 17, and then Rome, RIP, at 13.
Thank God. I thought I had Rome for some reason. You had Rome?
Yeah, I had him.
Oh my God, thank God.
What a beautiful
That's a
exit
double
though,
win for
to
me.
a great villain character. So entertaining. On your side, so after my 18 and 17, you had 16, 15, and 14.
So it's pretty
with
much dead even right now.
Aisha, Keyshawn, and Annika.
I liked Annika.
She was a good character. I think like a lot of what we saw from her was just butting heads with Sam on the Yellow Tribe.
Who I also really like. I like that whole Yellow Tribe.
Who honestly seems like a really cool dude. I think Andy's got a good kind of like coming back arc. He's like an underdog chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And then I think Sierra and Sam make a good like 1-2 punch. And then there's the other girl, Rachel.
Is she the one that's friends with Sue or no? Or is that Caroline?
Caroline and Rachel, I get them confused.
Yeah. Is Rachel
other
the one
white-
with glasses and brunette?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
So I don't know where she falls in it, but I like the Yellow Tribe. So I'm trying to think.
Sierra,
so Rome,
Sam.
and Annika. Those are the last two. So last week with the Rome exit, the two tribes merged. That there was a twist that we had not seen before, where only one person made the merge and was immune, which was Kyle from the Blue Tribe.
I like him.
And then everyone else basically turned on Rome, which was, even though he was on my roster, like beautiful to watch.
That was
just
pure
as
cinema.
Everyone just came together for a central like target, and what made it so much better was that Rome was so
Cocky?
So cocky and blind to the fact that he was just overbearing and like aggressive in his gameplay arrogant and lying to one person and saying one thing to another, that he just like didn't see it coming in the slightest. And even at Tribal, he's like, yeah, sorry Saul, like you're gone, dude. And then just boom, like 10 votes for Rome or whatever it was.
The 2 or 3 minutes, maybe a few more, of where they were getting ready to go to Tribal, and it was just a back and forth cutscenes between people saying they were voting Rome out, and then Rome being like, oh yeah, like I'm so confident, like this is my game.
I'm running this game.
I'm running this game.
It's
Like
so easy.
I love just like planting the seeds.
And he's sitting like this, like on the log.
You don't even like if you clip that and you just posted it somewhere. You don't even have to like know Survivor. Like as long as you know it's just a contest and you vote people out, that would just be entertaining to anybody because it was just pure irony, like the entire few minutes, and I knew I was gonna feel bad when he sat on the chair. Like I almost started to feel bad. I'm like, this guy is I can't. Like he's such like an ass, but
he's just a lot of energy and he's a lot. He's got a lot of characteristics.
I think he was just really excited. Honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. The scene of him sitting in Jeff's chair was funny and also was cool because you could tell how much it did mean to him.
Yeah,
and it was like a perfect setting out. Like, hey, you got to do that. Get out of your way, buddy. What's cool is, and this is kind of a new. I don't know what a good word for it is. A new addition that we haven't seen before. Not necessarily about this season, but on Instagram, I think I saw on the Reddit. They posted like a link for people who like watch the show to leave their feedback on like the new era, which is we have not seen them like do that before, which is really important if they take people's like criticism into account for season 50. Because there's a lot of things people hate about the new era, 41 and beyond versus 40 and before.
Is 48 and 49 already filmed? Because isn't this 47?
48, I think, is probably done filming or in the middle of filming, and 49 has not started filming yet.
And this is 47,
This is 47.
Gotcha.
So it'll be interesting to see, I mean, it won't be for like another year or so, but the fact that they're taking people's criticism and opinions into account is huge for the fan base in the show. And then, regarding tonight's episode, they're fully merged, and there was also hints on the social media of like a women's alliance coming into play. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. And
I think that was in the trailer too.
It's been thought of in the past in many seasons of like all guys or all girls alliance. Either way, it usually almost always ends up failing.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't work out. Season 24, One World, when, spoiler alert, Kim Stradlin won. The season was split, guys, girls, but she kept like a group of girls the whole season and dominated. So we'll see where this one goes. But very excited for it tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see who aligns. Like, post-merge, because I don't think I think people are more willing to break off from their alliances than we think, other than a few like duos maybe.
Yeah, after Rome left, everyone that is currently remaining seems pretty cool, pretty like no one's
there's no central target. That vote was easy with Rome.
Yeah.
Now it gets difficult because people are
I kind of like everybody that's left for the most part. Like, there's just more. Some people I like more than others.
I want Sue out. I do not like Sue.
I don't hate Sue.
Something about her rubs me the wrong way. Like, I don't like her going for Kyle.
I like Kyle.
You don't need to lie about your age. Like, if anything, it makes it more impressive that you're out there in like your mid to late 50s. Like,
I don't think you want to be too impressive. That's the point.
I mean, I guess. Well, like, what does 45 do for you? I don't know. I think that was stupid.
It's kind of like what I just said. It's like I like kind of everybody, but some more than others.
Yeah.
It's kind of like 45 is impressive, but whatever, how old she is she like almost 60?
Yeah, I want to say 59.
Yeah, it's
I think Saul's 45.
Yeah.
Like, I think you have Saul on the roster, but I like Saul. Pick. I like him a lot.
I like him too. He's like, I don't know.
He's just like, I feel I just haven't, like, we haven't even seen that much of him because he's just been brought down by Rome the whole entire season. But he's a unique character, and I don't feel I've seen someone quite like him on the show before.
Yeah, he's kind of been retreating the entire time. Like he's
been playing defense.
He's been playing
now
defense.
Now he finally can do something. I'm interested to see how Teeny plays because she's someone that like we knew from the beginning is very social, and like she said she's been able to like hang out with girls in college, but then also she like can hang out with the finance bros. And so someone who's like that can connect with them and people on different levels for where she stands in the game right now, where she's not really aligned with the rest of the tribe, like the Red Tribe. Yeah. Like she's not really close with Genevieve or Soul. So she's gonna have to make new connections, and I think she's gonna go far. But how she gets that pathway, I'm curious to see. and like I genuinely have no clue who's gonna get voted out next. But my guess is it's gonna be a dude.
Yeah, I feel like this episode is gonna be.
It's gonna set boundary lines big time.
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever happens. I think this episode will be kind of a really tough decision for them, and then whatever happens will like piss people off, and then the episode after this one will really be where things kind of start solidifying towards the final stretch.
I agree. I think this episode, people are gonna be pissed off, blindsided, and it's probably gonna be split.
This is the polarizing episode.
And then after this episode, tribal lines will kind of solidify a bit, and not just change every tribal to tribal.
Yeah.
What do they call those? Voting pods or something? I don't know. There was a term for it they used in a couple seasons back, which is funny. But yeah,
those are my thoughts on that.
Perfectly 32 minutes, and we were about 12 for baseball. So that was a nice perfect 10 minutes.
Perfect.
NFL?
Yeah, NFL or NBA, you pick.
Let's go NFL, because NBA kind of was like the opening week, so I'd like to finish sports on that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where do we want to start with NFL?
NFL.
There's been a lot. A lot of injuries. Stephon Diggs out with the ACL.
Godwin, I think, went down.
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Evans will be back though, but still. Bucks could be killed. Not killed. Cooked. Sorry. Mine's all over the place.
I'm trying to think who else has. I know there's been more injuries that I can't think of.
There's just so many. It's kind of hard to think. Christian Kirk, who's not that great, but he broke his collarbone.
Yeah, that's tough. I just traded him away. So
Richardson benched for being tired.
Being tired and also just sucking. He is awful.
He has like the third or fourth lowest completion percentage.
He threw. It was like 10 for 31 last game.
He's so bad, it's weird because like he got hurt last year, but before he got hurt, he looked so good. He was the second ranked quarterback by ESPN going into for fantasy going this year. Not like
I mean, he was in my 2 quarterback league, like we said before, he was drafted 22nd.
Yeah. Two quarterback leagues are different, like, but he was probably.
But the fact that he was drafted that high as a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Narratives on the NFL. Jets. I think the Devontae Adams trade may have happened since last episode.
Yeah, I mean the Jets just still suck.
Yeah, they are maybe one of the more disappointing teams in our lifetime. Like this season's team.
I mean, I read online. It was someone asking like, why are they playing bad? Because they have a good quarterback. They have 3 to 4, 2 great wide receivers, and like Lazard is a solid wide receiver too. All right. Mm-hmm. Breece Hall is a really good running back, or should be at least.
Yeah, and Allen looked really good.
Yeah, Braylon Allen is solid too.
Their offensive line isn't great, and their defense
is supposed to be good.
Yeah, but the Jets' defense was so good last year. The only team in NFL history I was listening to, I forget who it was. It was a pretty big NFL analyst. The only team that had as good of a year as the Jets last year and repeated it or got better. No, it was like the 1985 Bears.
Oh, okay.
Like the only team that was as good as the Jets last year and had as good of a year or better repeated the following year.
So you could almost predict that
was the Bears. Like so you could regression was almost inevitable.
But from what the person said on Reddit was like, you have a bunch of individuals on the team who are good, but they're just not playing as like a team. They're not playing as like a cohesive unit.
That happens.
Which is hard to put statistically, other than the fact that their record sucks. But like, I mean, that's just a true thing in sports. If you need to, in sports, you need to play together and like have chemistry, which I don't think that team has.
Yeah, I've seen a few times in my lifetime. I think more in baseball for some reason. Like I remember the Red Sox back when we were in like middle school or high school. They put together this squad that was supposed to, like, they were heavy favorites to win it all. And it had like Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford.
I think you see it in basketball even more often now with these big threes.
Yeah, actually, that's also great. Like the Nets are a good example where, to the exact point you're making, they construct these rosters, and on paper it looks like a god squad, which is kind of like I mean, it looks like something you'd make up in a video game.
Exactly.
And I'm not sure if it's the expectations or the gelling, but something just sometimes does not pan out as opposed to like where you, instead of getting individual pieces that are great, cohesive pieces that complement each other.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what the Chiefs do.
And I think the Chiefs are a prime example of a team that are injured. They still have their quarterback, obviously, and they have like Kelsey, but they've had to have like Kareem Hunt just step up for the practice squad. Xavier Worthy is obviously a rookie, but he's had to step up, and now they got Hopkins. Like these dudes who are either young and stepping up or old and just like plugging them in, but like they're playing cohesively and they're 7-0.
Yeah, coaching has to do with it too, I think. Cause
they
are
big
fantastically coached.
Yeah. And clearly the Jets firing Salah,
Yeah.
Salo, I don't know how to pronounce his name, wasn't.
That's got to
an issue.
be, talk about like a chip on your shoulder. I know he probably cares about those guys, but just his feeling towards management and ownership, that you can't tell me that doesn't feel good, getting kind of scapegoated and fired and blamed for them being bad, and then seeing them not only lose, but last week they lost to the Patriots. So not supposed to be good.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and from now on, whatever his job is, like whenever they face the Jets, like we need to put their face in the dirt. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Bury them.
For Coach Salah, yeah.
And I think he was seen at like the Chargers. Packers, yeah. I don't know if he was hired or something, but offensive coordinator or something.
He was hired as the way I saw it or understood it, he was hired as kind of like a consultant.
Okay.
He's gonna be in the building on a fluid basis. Is like the exact wording it was.
Yeah. They keep it vague.
He's friends with the Packers coach LaFleur.
Okay, yeah.
LaFleur.
Is it Matt LaFleur?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he has a brother or something, so I get confused sometimes.
I don't know.
But anyways, they're friends or something. So I think he's just kind of coming in and giving his 2 cents on things, but not really like a formal position. But Cowboys are another example. Super disappointing. They're a little different in the sense that they had a lot of good pieces and didn't really. And Dalton would be the first to tell you. Dalton's pissed. So mad. He went on like a rant in one of our group chats yesterday.
Dak Prescott doesn't care about football, I think.
Ooh.
I think he got married and he doesn't care.
What's that?
I think he got married and like, did he have a kid recently too?
I don't know.
I don't know. He just like
Dalton is not gonna be happy you just said that.
I'll look you straight in the eye, Dalton. I don't think Dak Prescott cares about football.
You could probably say that's probably the worst thing you could have said, because Dalton thinks he's like dedicated to the game more than like he says.
If you want to talk about a dedicated quarterback that just started playing recently, Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, that's a good development since last time. I feel bad for Justin Fields. Shout out Justin Fields.
Feel bad, yeah.
You're kind of Justin Fields. Or not respect.
You'll get your time somewhere else at some point.
Yeah, he'll get his flowers, but
I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously, like I'm very surface level still with like the ins and outs of how teams work, but I mean they need another running back. Rico Dowdle's like and obviously Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott aren't going to be able to pull it off. Like clearly we saw that this week against the Niners.
That's what I said. Dalton, not to actually,
just say
not to expose Dalton.
Don't hold back.
But I value Dalton's opinion for sports maybe more than anybody. I'll send you this clip after just to make sure I convey this right. But him and I believe other Cowboys fans are wanting more wide receiver help for Dak. My argument to that was they have the first team All-Pro wide receiver from last year, CeeDee Lamb. Behind him, yes, not much, but at least they have one guy.
Yeah.
Their running backs, as you just said, were good, now are horrible, and statistically the Cowboys are averaging the least yards per carry in the NFL this year. When you can't run the ball, you're expected to pass the ball. And when the defense is expecting to pass, it's harder to pass the ball.
Yeah.
I said they should or should have, I think it's too late now, but should have signed or acquired a better running back going into this year.
I was seeing people say they should trade, because they still could, and I always forget how to pronounce his first name, Chuba or Chuba.
Oh, that would be good. I see. I actually would agree with that.
He's on like the last year of his deal. I'm pretty confident. And his spot, is most likely gone when Jonathan Brooks comes back.
Yeah, I don't know. And to add on to that, I think that would be a great move for them. And for when I think this whole conversation that I had yesterday with him, it was sparked by the Ravens getting Deontay Johnson, another development. A lot of wide receiver trades in the last few weeks, which he's really good. He's a proven guy.
Amari Cooper to the Bills. I don't know if that was done when we did.
No, that was not.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
another one. A lot of wide receiver trades, and he was like, okay, all the wide receiver trades are done. When I just thought of, I don't know what their schedule was like to end the year. I don't know how feasible it is to make a really good comeback. I mean, they're only one game under 500, but I'm gonna send this to him. But get Chuba and Cooper Kupp's still there. I think, and it's been rumored that
he's on the last year of his deal too, right?
I don't know the specifics of probably.
I think he is.
Yeah, which would make sense why they're willing to trade him.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, being able to run the ball with Chuba,
and Jalen Tolbert's really not that bad of wide receiver too.
Yeah, but he's not a great wide receiver 2. He would be a good wide receiver 3. And I think the possession style of Kupp combined with more of the
you know better than I would. I like that idea too. Can I throw one more name out there real quick?
Yeah.
And I think he's on a big contract, so I don't think this would work. But he's on an awful team. Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I think Kupp
would definitely be the better option.
I think Kupp would be the better option. They just signed Ridley, which makes him less likely, maybe not even on the Titans' end of being interested in trading him, but the Cowboys' end
with how big that contract
wanting him.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Because the Cowboys have other missing pieces too, and Cowboys fans would be the first
defense.
Defense and offensive line are not where they could be. I think.
Nick Bosa was having a night getting through that offensive line.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be another thing for Dak too, because historically, for the strong majority of his career, he's had one of, if not the best, offensive lines in football. So that could be throwing him off too, no pun intended. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think it may be clips the Cowboys this year.
I think it's clips. I don't think they're going to make a move. I think they're just going to try to write it out.
Yeah, I think they're afraid they would make a move and it would still not work, and then they'd be giving up pieces, affecting their future.
And they're a team that doesn't want to tank, I feel.
No, I don't think I think they're kind of like the Yankees in the sense they're too big to tank.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's just, I think they're always, they don't tank, but they don't put their idea of tanking is being mid.
Yeah.
I think they kind of are tanking.
Which is, in my opinion, the worst state to be in for across any sport.
Yeah.
If you're mid, you're
It's just horrible to watch as a fan too, because it's the consolation prize of being horrible is at least you'll get a high draft pick.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm hoping the Giants lose because I just want a good quarterback.
Speaking of the Giants, let's give our remarks on our own teams.
Yeah.
And then maybe do a slight fantasy talk, just records, and also me and Nick are facing each other this week in one of our leagues.
Yeah, we can just give a little outlook on that. We don't need my 7 leagues could take the podcast.
Yeah. What do you think about the Giants right now?
Giants completely undisciplined.
Neighbors he was all right last game, but he hasn't been what he was the first couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I think that's just natural. Anytime someone breaks out, people adjust, whether they're a rookie or not. I like Tracy.
Yeah,
he's out now. He's kind of breaking out. Jones hasn't looked horrible. He's just not a winning quarterback. I don't know how to describe it. He's got one win out of 15 games on prime time or Monday Night Football in his career. I think he's winless on Monday Night Football and one win on prime time or something like that. It's he doesn't look horrible. He's just he doesn't make any big plays that result in wins. He kind of just goes out there, and I think it was Jason Kelsey or something like that on before Monday night this week that said it. He just looks like he's trying not to lose. I'm not sure if he's afraid or he just doesn't have the ability to make the big plays. Nonetheless, it's year 6. We need to move on. I don't think he seems a good guy. And
Are you guys 2-5?
2-5?
2-5?
2-5. He's tough as shit because he also has consistently has had one of the worst offensive lines in football, and he goes out there every time and takes the hit. So I have all the respect in the world for him on a kind of personal human level, but if he wasn't getting paid $40 million a year, I'd say I'd love him as my backup quarterback, but not as my starter. So I hope that gets resolved this year, or like after this year.
Is Dexter Lawrence is on your team, right?
Sexy Dexter.
Yeah, Sexy Dexter.
He's a beast.
He's awesome.
I'm not sure after this week if he still is, but I know going into this week he was leading the league in sacks.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Which is insane for someone of his size and position. Like he had 9 sacks going into last week. No other defensive.
I think he still leads.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But no defensive or interior lineman had more than 5 going into last week.
Wow.
So he's a beast. We have a lot of solid pieces. And we have throughout the Daniel Jones era. But
you have your wide receiver and running back for the future, like possibly.
Yeah, I don't know if Tracy's the running back. Running back's weird.
Less, obviously, way less than Neighbors, but
yeah, but
looked pretty solid.
We have pieces. I think it's just a matter of finding 1 or 2 more, and I think it has to be the quarterback. Really game-changing players, and possibly filling in some of the holes with more just solid players, and then maybe we have a decent future. I don't know though. I've lost faith in the Giants a little bit. It's been
rough the past couple of years.
I expect it's been tough since the prime Odell days. Ended. I kind of just expect them to lose right now, opposed to your team, where every time, despite them kind of going under expectations a little bit this year, I always expect the Niners to win. So I'll kind of pass it to you there.
Yeah, I think. We said we're 4-4. Being 4-4 for how injury prone we've been, I'm very happy with that. We're only going to be in the upswing. We have our bye week this week, which is huge for us because Deebo's had pneumonia and he hurt his ribs, so he'll be healthy. CMC is going to ramp up his practice. He's going to be back. Juwan Jennings should be back too, which is obviously good for wide receiver 2. Ricky Purcell looked solid last game. Guidado, kind of our RB3.
Yeah, I know you're talking. I don't think that's anywhere close to how you pronounce his name.
Isaac, something like that.
Yeah, but I know you're talking about.
He looked really good. He was explosive as hell out of the gate, which was fun to watch. Jordan Mason had a shoulder injury, I think, so he could have came back, but I think for how well Isaac was playing, they just kept him in. But I'm excited. It's always fun when you get your weapons back, especially the best running back in the league. It sucks that Ayuk's gone for the season, which I think is also a new thing that happened since the last time we were on here. Blow. Definitely a big blow. I still think we could win a Super Bowl without him easily. Not easily, but it could definitely happen.
Yeah, it's possible.
And he wasn't playing good for the season. He could have stepped it up, obviously. Fantasy purposes, I traded for Deebo. That worked out. Which is fun. It definitely worked out, knowing that one is pneumonia. Jink's not going to win. It doesn't come back or anything. Wasn't that bad, and his statistics are really, really solid when Ayuk's out.
Yeah.
So I think coming back after this week with a healthy team, we're going to be dangerous. We're going to be dangerous. And I didn't even mention Kittle. Kittle's been amazing all season.
He has.
I love George Kittle.
I'm just speaking of injuries. He always gets injured.
I know.
So, knock on wood for him.
Yeah, knock on wood twice.
But, speaking of Jordan Mason and McCaffrey returning and the Cowboys running back, would you be upset if, I don't think this is going to happen, but especially with McCaffrey's injury history, but just theoretically, would you be upset if the Niners traded him to the Cowboys?
Yeah, I would be. I think, he wasn't phenomenal in his time in while McCaffrey was out.
He was phenomenal.
The past 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
were pretty bad. But for what he was expected to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, he was very.
He's top 5 in the league in rushing or something like that.
I'm thinking just recency bias.
Yeah.
But he was really, really solid. Stepped up into that role, and like you said, with McCaffrey's injury history, like having someone like that, knowing who can step in is phenomenal. So unless like I don't know trade value really in like actual NFL. So I don't know what we get for him.
Probably get like a third or fourth round pick for him.
If we could get like a third, maybe a second.
Running backs, you'd have to be like a proven top dog to get a second for a running back, because the exact reason he's playing so good, running backs are so interchangeable. You're the best running back in the league can go out and then you can just pull some guy off the bench and he's top 5 in the league in rushing.
Yeah, so I don't want to get rid of him. I like.
Yeah, I was just curious. I agree with you. I was just curious.
And yeah, Purdy looked good last game. Was a little iffy before, but like I said, when you got guys injured and can't really throw the ball, it's a little tough. I think some of our defensive guys, like Trey Greenlaw, I don't know if he came back last game or if he's still out, but hopefully we have something. Like I know there's other injuries other than just kind of like the skills players who should be coming back. So I like the outlook for the rest of our season. Big time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have Purdy in my fantasy team, so the one I'm facing you in. So
okay, yeah.
So yeah, my team's kind of hitting my stride.
You're hitting your stride a bit.
Yeah,
you are.
I think I'm trying to trade. I was actually texting one of our league members, the one I visited in Connecticut, like a day or two ago about a trade. But he was like, "Send it," and I basically said, "Hey, I'll give you one of these two players and this player for one of his players," and he goes, I actually kind of like that, offer it. And he's like, I'll do it. I need a little bit of a shake-up. I'm like, okay, like which of one of the two players do you want? And he's like, both. And I'm like, no, I said one. And then he just never responded.
Oh my god.
So, I don't know.
I've been all like in a similar sense. I've been trying. I don't even need to, and I made one trade that got vetoed by our commissioner, who's a bit of a dictator.
It's my name.
Yeah. He lives up to
mine's a joke though. That's kind of crazy.
Ours is not, which is like I told Nick, like looking back, I'm kind of glad it did because it was a risky trade for me. But it's tough sometimes when you're trying to work a trade with someone and they're just like not really into it, or they don't text back, which is like fine. Not everyone needs to be like as into it as we are. Like like there's no contract saying like you need to get back to me within 24 hours with like an offer or rejection. But it is annoying. And like right after this podcast, I'm shooting 2 texts off saying like, did you review our trade?
But yeah, it should be an interesting matchup this week. I'm not sure who you have on bye and stuff like that, but. My team's, I'd say I got Purdy, Jones, Chubb.
I have Kittle on bye. So
Who's my wide receiver 1? I think I have Jay Jettas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jay Jettas, Cubs back.
I know.
And I have a lot of good flex options. So I think I have Shakir, Pittman, and Pickens all on this team.
Yeah.
So my team's really
Pickens on bye.
Okay, but still, so Shakir or Pittman.
And you have Rashad White too. Not bad option.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I think it's like 49-51, but I think it leans in your favor a bit, especially with I'm starting Zach Ertz, who's actually been playing pretty well the last 2 weeks, but he's a guy that could drop a nice 5 point.
I forget my tight end.
Kyle Pitts.
Oh, he went off last week.
Yeah. Well, a touchdown that should have been overturned.
Oh yeah.
That was funny.
That was funny.
So funny.
Kind of overall, my leagues, like I said, or like I'm in 7. Like I said, I'm here, which is kind of absurd.
Yeah,
but
you say it out loud.
Something absurd about the absurdity is that before last week, I looked. I think across all 7 leagues, I was 1 game above 500 in 4, and 1 game below 500 in 3. So overall, across 7 leagues, I'm 1 game above 500. Yeah. But like the consistency is kind of insane.
Yeah,
I really didn't draft that similar. Sorry.
I think in that situation, and I want to hear your opinions on this. Like when you sit, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, 5 and 5, whatever it is, like. Is it one of those where it's different for every team where like, all right, I'm going to ride it out because I think they're going to step it up? Like, assuming everyone's healthy, or are you like, I need to make a move because this team out of the stands is like, okay, yeah, I'll make playoffs, but it's not gonna be a game-winning team, or like, is it just different for every team?
It really depends. Like,
I always
you
heard
have
you should
some
always
players-
be trying to make moves,
yeah,
which has come back to bite me sometimes.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure how much I agree with that because I feel like
This is people off Reddit who are just like the most
I feel like-
extremist when it comes to everything.
I feel like I've blown my chances of winning it more than increased my chances
From
of making
trades?
trades. I think more. I don't know. Maybe that just is
Trades
more
are just fun to make,
indicative.
though,
Yeah, it is. It feeds the little.
Like Debo for Josh
General
Jacobs,
manager.
the trade I made, maybe won't be worth it if Debo is just like hurt. And Josh Jacobs is like playing really good now.
Yeah.
But like, it's fun to make a trade, and I get a guy who's on my favorite team.
Yeah, I mean, in my main league that I commission and I kind of just I've been in it the longest, so I care about it the most. That's really but I made a trade a few weeks ago. I got Jacobs and Zay Flowers, who both went off last week, and a few days after that, I traded for Trey McBride, who went off last week. So I mean, I gave up a lot for those, but
Picks included.
Okay. For McBride especially, I gave up a lot. I gave up Chubb, Andrews, and Cup for for McBride and a third round pick.
Wow.
But my receivers are Amon-Ra, Zay Flowers, and DK. So
It's
I didn't really
trio.
I didn't really need Cup and then Chubb and Andrews.
Old. One coming off injury, and I think still like on the olderish side for running backs, and Mark Andrews obviously like, what, 30 something, 30.
I think he seems older, but I think he's only like 30.
Okay, yeah, but
still,
he's not. I mean,
up until I traded him, he was doing horrible.
Yeah.
He's had touchdowns back-to-back weeks,
but like the only receptions he's getting really were those touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not as sustainable. Whereas McBride had like 30 points last week and didn't.
I have him in my other league.
He's so good. I would consider keeping him because he's that good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, and other than Marvin Harrison, like he's like he's like their next best like receiver.
Yeah, and tight ends are different because it's like they're kind of like a safety valve.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of reliable, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I don't know. Should be interesting. I'm content with where I am in my leagues.
I like where I sit in both my leagues.
Yeah,
I like my teams.
Not
enough to not make
comfortable.
moves.
Yeah, not comfortable, but content.
Yeah, which is always fun, and I also like it's so nice, and this has happened to me the past couple weeks where it like comes down to like the Monday night game to see whether or not I win or not.
Yeah, I've had a
which
few of those this year.
makes the whole weekend so fun versus like if you like obviously if you know you won after like the 1 p.m. games on Sunday, that's great. Like you can sit back and relax. But like knowing you lost after the 1 p.m. games is like
deflating, yeah.
Like I don't give a crap about the rest of these games for the day.
That's brutal.
Yeah, but so like I've been lucky in that situation. Like
Yeah.
on Monday I needed like 6 points from Najee Harris, and like last week was a similar situation. But yeah, very fun. It'll be interesting to see our matchup. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we'll let the people know in a few weeks.
That's all I really got for football.
Yeah, same.
We're at an hour, so I say maybe talk about your shirt. What other? Oh, NBA.
Yeah, NBA.
Oh, I don't really have much to talk about NBA, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, neither do I. I just want to make sure we're still going. We are. I have 3 minutes, like I said.
I got a few things to say. If you, I don't know if you want to start or.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have much to say about the NBA, to be honest. I believe the Heat are 1-1, if I'm correct. And I know one of our friends that's a Heat fan is going to be mad. I'm saying I believe. I have been really honestly keeping up with baseball and football the last few days since the season started, but plan on. And they played the Hornets and the Pistons, which. Oh, no. I'm sorry. They played the Magic and the Pistons. I think they play the Hornets next. and so which weren't exactly the most exciting games. The Magic actually was a good game, and I underestimated the Magic.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
They're really good. I mean, Paulo's good, Franz is good, and they're really good defensively. Like
yeah, Suggs is a beast of a defender.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm not super optimistic about like title chances for the Heat this year. I think they'll be pretty average, maybe slightly above average. But
Jimmy may not resign.
Who's that?
I'm pretty sure Jimmy may not resign.
Yeah, so I mean,
it may be time to move on from the Jimmy era.
Yeah, but I'll appreciate this year knowing that it could be his last because he was fun to watch on the Heat. But those are really kind of like my early season thoughts. I've really only followed the box scores. Jimmy was horrible the first game. I think our leading scorer the second game. Hero went off, had a good game his first game. I don't really know what he did his second. Excited to see Bam shoot more threes. Excited to see Kalel Ware.
Jaime?
What? Jaquez too.
That'll be a fun improvement, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fun. He was so good and kind of overachieved year one. Should be interesting to see how he is year two.
Mm-hmm.
They have some, I forget the name off the top of my head. If you said it, I would know it. But another rookie guard, I believe at Arizona, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Or it seems like he has high potential.
I don't know if
I'm blanking. I know his name. Shoot. But anyway, it should be an interesting year. I don't have high expectations, but super high expectations. But at the same time, if they went off, if they made a run, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. Similarly for me, I watched. I think we're 2-3, 1-3. Our record. I know we're not positive right now. We're not above 500 for the Wolves. We haven't looked that great. Randall's looked solid. Ant looked solid too. Dante could be a little better off the bench. I do like our bench unit. Little disappointed with Jaden's work over the summer. And it's still so early. He needs to be able to score the ball more. And Mike Conley doesn't seem like he's controlling the floor as much as he was last year, which can be fine because Dante and Nikhil Alexander-Walker can also kind of run the point. But I personally need Mike to do better. He should be knocking down 40% of his threes, and he should be the guy running the ball up the court. Other than Ant, most of the time.
Yeah.
Randall, last night we faced the Mavericks. We ended up losing. I thought
Luka owned you guys.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough game. Fun to watch on TNT. But we just we weren't great defensively, and other than Randall and Ant, we just need to have someone who can step up and just score. We don't have a scorer. Nas 3-and-D. DiVincenzo's a Swiss Army knife. Mike's a good ball distributor. Jaden is kind of a 3-and-D type of guy too. Mm-hmm. Ant is obviously can do it all. And Randall was a scorer, but I want another kind of guard who's just gonna be able to I love a Jordan Clarkson off our bench.
Yeah, maybe they'll make a trade at some point this year.
Or even a Tim Hardaway Jr. off the bench wouldn't even be that bad. I'd like for them to go in free agency, or not free, I guess make a trade mid-season for a seasoned veteran scorer.
Yeah, it's speaking of seasoned veterans, I was gonna say about Mike Conley. Obviously, you want him to be good, and he was really good last year. Mm-hmm. But I think he's 36 now.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's turning 37, I believe.
Yeah, at a certain point, it's gonna. I'm surprised he hasn't kind of fallen off already. Mm-hmm. And at a certain point, it's gonna hit, especially because he's not really some. I don't know if this helps you or doesn't help you when you approach that age, but he's not some physically.
Yeah.
He's not some physical marvel like LeBron. He's kind of a small guy. I'm not sure if that helps you because he hasn't been relying on his athleticism really throughout his career, mm-hmm. or if his somewhat below average athleticism build gets even more exposed as you're older. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
I think.
I like.
That's a good thought process. and like I said, like, it's also tough to like get so hyped for the NBA season when there's 82 games.
Yeah.
Like, you got to take it game by game, and you don't know much about your team until, honestly, even like until halfway through the season, maybe even later is when teams really start to click.
I have a really hard time watching basketball for some reason. I don't know why, and because I love, like, I can get into a lot of the Mets games, probably, maybe not all 162, but probably about 80 of the Mets games I sit down and thoroughly watch. But I saw something today literally saying that NBA viewership is down, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, I mean, like, and NBA is my biggest sport, and I think part of the reason why I'm not as interested is because I got into football this year and I like it a lot. But I don't know, it didn't have that same spark as it's had in years past. I think another big thing for that is, and maybe you feel the same way because like with the Wolves, like a recent success, like, you know, making the playoffs and whatnot, and similarly with the Heat the past couple of years, you guys have made it all the way to the NBA Finals. It's like, we have to wait another 82 games just to like get to the point where we want to be.
Yeah, no, I feel that because I mean when the Heat did make the, when they made the conference finals, when they almost came back from the Celtics a few years ago, when they made the finals
Against
2 years ago.
Suns? Who they faced in the finals that year? So I think it was Suns.
No, because they lost.
Oh wait, no, because the Suns lost.
Yeah, no, the Bucks lost the Suns. Oh my God, who did they face? It was literally the year before last. Who won the finals 2 years ago?
Oh, Nuggets. No, wait. Wait. Last year was the Celtics, and then it was the Nuggets.
Did the Heat face the Nuggets?
I think so. Also, big point. When me and Nick were playing that game last 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, we couldn't think of the point guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. We know it's Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
me and Nick know a good amount of ball.
Yeah,
we're not that unknowledgeable. That was a brain fart on both our ends, and it's been the off season.
Yeah, it was the Nuggets. The Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Heat lost the Nuggets. But I don't even remember the point I was making now.
I don't know either.
But
about like having to wait.
Oh yeah. But like I historically have not watched the Heat that much in the regular season, but it's because I expect them to make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
And I just lock in towards the end of the year.
Yeah. There's not much unless you like there's not much of a point unless you're dying to watch them play.
Yeah. And as long as I keep up, like I know who's playing good overall. I may not go, I may not go or be able to say, oh, Jimmy's playing bad because he's pulling up from the mid-range too much. But like I know, okay, he's shooting blank percent usually, and he's averaging so many points and stuff like that. But I don't know. I said last year I wanted to keep up more, but I also want to keep up. I actually want to hold myself to that this year.
Yeah, when the Timberwolves were bad, which was basically every year other than like the past two, maybe you can count 3 years ago. I would watch almost every game, but that's because it's like each one really does matter if we're like gonna cut it close. And it's also nice when your team is like so bad and you have young guys where like every game you can
watch them grow.
See their development, which I did with like Naz Reid, Jaden, and then I saw the guys like Jarrett Culver, Josh Okogie kind of suck. So it comes and it goes. And like I'm not gonna watch it all 82 games this year. I do check when I go to bed the box scores for every game, and I try to watch the Wolves whenever I can. I mean, it's tough also being West Coast. The games start at 10 p.m. I'm like I can't watch that. But you know it's always fun to see the season fall out and see like who steps up big time and who doesn't. Another thing I noticed which kind of pisses me off is like injuries just happen so much. Like someone rolls their ankle, it's like out 2 games. Like that's the nice thing about football. It's like they play through stuff when they can. Basketball is so soft.
It's probably the exact dynamic we were just talking about though. Basketball, the season's a marathon, whereas NFL every game counts like 5 times more.
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah. But
which it's annoying.
Yeah.
I beat Nick in our first week in fantasy basketball.
So unlucky. Whatever.
For what it means.
I like my team. I'm not worried about it.
I like my team as well.
We'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, it's 17 weeks long.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
An episode, who knows, like 40, maybe we'll figure out.
Yeah, exactly.
Either of us wins that league. Do you have anything more you want to add about
Not on basketball. Just excited.
So we're at an hour 11. You want to quickly just give like a minute to rundown of your trip and what we have planned?
Oh yeah, I mean,
This is
I'm not
really
sure if you
cool.
want that to be the outro because it's kind of what we're doing next week. Did you want to talk about any like the random kind of quirky stuff?
Oh yeah, you know more than I do. The Rizzler and Big Justice and AJ were on
The Jimmy Fallon show, like the lore is just insane.
It just keeps getting better, and the Rizzler just gets more loved by
the Rizzler,
the universe.
The Rizzler, towards I think since last episode during one of the Mets NLCS games, was on the jumbotron on a Rizzler cam.
Oh yeah,
which was hilarious. Like as a Mets fan and a Rizzler follower, that was awesome. That's crazy.
I don't really have any other like pop culture. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I know I told you. I was trying to explain that whole Domingo thing.
Yeah, maybe
that guy was also. You said you knew the guy.
Yeah, I know the guy.
He was at a Mets game like 2 days after that. I think it was the game before the Rizzler. They put him on the jumbotron, and that was as this thing was blowing up.
Yes. He's a new member of the SNL cast. I believe this year or came on last year, and he's a very funny stand-up comedian.
Yeah, I never heard of him or saw him before, but
if you get a chance in your free time, like look up him and like clips of his stand-up, you'll die.
Yeah.
He has one clip. It's like I gotta say it real quick because even just the premise of it is so funny. And we had a kid in our high school who like similarly like was like this. So like like when we're in Spanish class, the teachers are like, "Okay, class, me hablo Ethan, como te llamas?" It's so
forced,
Englishanized, whatever you want to call it. And like that one kid in class who like came from like a Spanish speaking country or just like maybe speaks Spanish from like his parents or whatnot, and he's like me hablo and he has a skit like that. It's like he's obviously, I think he was first language Spanish. I think he's Puerto Rican, Cuban, I forget what he is, but and he puts on like a big show of it, and it's so funny.
I'll look that up.
Clips, but he's hilarious.
I don't know much about him or the SNL skit. Like it had Ariana Grande in it. I think it was supposed to be like a bachelorette party type skit or something like that. But they've turned his part where he's singing like his name's Domingo or something like that. They turn it into all these like TikTok memes now, which is hilarious. Forget what else.
I mean, the election's next week.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be here. So.
And honestly, I know like neither of us are big into politics, but I know we're both big numbers guys. I personally love the election purely off like an data standpoint.
You ever seen Kornacki?
What?
Have you ever seen Kornacki?
No.
He's like the NBC guy, and he's the guy that like goes on.
Oh wait, yes, okay. It's the biggest collection of data that we get in the fastest amount of time. That plays such a big impact, which is I love. Whether regardless of what side it is, I find it so interesting. So yeah, that's always
that'll be interesting.
It's always a crazy time.
There will be next time we have an episode. There will be a new president elect, which will be kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What else? That's kind of it, honestly.
I don't got much.
I really haven't got much. I feel like there was something else I wrote down, but nothing too crazy. But I mean, if you want me to run through it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like we kind of casually dropped in a few times at the episode. No episode next week coming from us in our usual spot. I will be on vacation in Amsterdam.
My home country.
Yeah, the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Van Vost. But Van Persie. But
Van Persie!
Yeah, the diving header in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I mean, I actually may be going. I was trying to convince who I'm going on the trip with to go to.
Brian, you can say Brian.
Yeah, Brian. I was trying to convince Brian to go to a Champions League game in Paris next week. It's Atletico versus PSG.
Oh, dude, you got it.
Yeah, I really want to go.
Insane.
We're either
the mix. Wait, yeah, and the mixture of culture too, of like French and Spanish.
Yeah, it'd probably be nuts.
Oh my god.
We were gonna go to London on like a side trip, but there's no games there. And if we go to London, we don't go to Paris. We're probably gonna go to Ajax game in Amsterdam, which either way is pretty good.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic.
Yeah, but we're probably gonna do that, and then probably just kind of bar hop, food hop. We're going on Europe's largest or tallest swing.
Oh, what the heck?
It's like just on this skyscraper, and it's just like you go over like the side of the
Oh,
building.
you actually do? Oh my god.
Yeah, it looks a little.
I don't know if I'd want to
It
do
looks
that.
a little intense.
I'm not the biggest fan of
I think we're
heights.
doing it the day we get there, so hopefully I'm a little too tired to care that much.
Yeah.
But like,
If I fall, I fall.
Yeah, whatever. I don't want to be awake right now anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of like biking. Like biking's really popular there, so we're gonna try and do all like the touristy stuff essentially.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm gonna try and vlog it,
Yes.
and that may be in place of next week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
No promises. Maybe kind of tough if we're
Even
busy.
if it's just like what clips, if you can throw some together,
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be anything crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of the plan.
Yeah, very excited to see how that trip goes.
I've been just kind of for fun. Not that I'm actually going to use it because most people speak English in Europe anyway, but just curious to how you would pronounce certain things.
Okay.
It looks like we took Spanish in high school. Like French seems kind of hard, but like Spanish, Italian, a lot, like some languages don't seem too tough to kind of get the hang of. It looks impossible. Like I have the pronunciation, the words up. I can't
For
pronounce
Dutch?
them. Yeah, for Dutch.
Okay.
Like I have the words on my screen and I click the voice. It's nothing how I would expect.
Oh, really?
To say.
I've never even like
Someone-
seen it or really attempted. I'm assuming it's like it's somewhat like German.
Yeah, it's yeah. I would say so. Germany borders the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Like we're not too far from like Dortmund and stuff like that. But yeah, should be interesting. Long flight, and even longer flight back because
How many hours?
So we have a 3-hour flight to Atlanta, and an 8-hour flight to
Ooh.
Amsterdam
Damn.
overnight. And then on the way home, we have a 9-hour flight to Detroit, and then an hour and a half. Well, actually, so it's actually not as long of a flight home, but we have like a 4-hour layover, so the travel time is longer. Whereas when we go there, we only have an hour and a half layover.
Mm-hmm.
The bittersweet side of that is if somehow we got delayed, we'd be screwed.
Yeah.
But
You'll be fine.
yeah.
No, yeah.
I've never had a problem.
Third time without
Yeah.
put this episode.
Yeah, but
What was I gonna say? One more thing. That's so annoying. I don't know.
yo, one thing I'm gonna try there. I mean, you know me, I'm a foodie, and actually you are too. I'd say you're probably like the biggest foodie I know.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I know myself some good.
Yeah, I love food. Like I literally was looking at. I said we're gonna have a 3.5-hour layover in Detroit on the way home.
Mhm.
I literally looked at the airport like food.
Oh, really?
Like, because I'm like, okay.
I
maybe-
love eating in airports.
So do I. I love it. But
Uh-huh.
Amsterdam was looking at like the biggest food there. They have like these things called like bitterballen, which are like these fried, kind of like hush puppies, but they're filled with like gravy or ragu, I guess, which sounds really good. And they also have these. They have this fast food place where literally it's like a vending machine. It's people.
Oh, really?
It's like I think the kitchen, like it's real food, but the kitchen's behind these vending machines, and they just put the food in these little slots, and then you like swipe your card.
That'd be dangerous for anybody. I'll take that one.
And it's like really cheap too. Like it's like $3 for fries, $3 for
Oh.
chicken wings, $3 for like a chicken sandwich.
All right.
What else? Yeah.
I remember my question from earlier.
Yeah.
What's the time difference? 6 hours?
I believe it's really tough because this weekend's daylight savings. I think right now it's 6. I think when we get there, maybe 5.
Okay.
It's all screwed up.
Yeah.
I'm all screwed up.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
This is like it's completely off topic, but I wanted to mention it. And I told you right before we started filming, it was something funny. My girlfriend, she's like an avid runner. She always like runs on the treadmill or outside when she can. And she told me today, she's like, we're going to go for a run. I'm like, maybe let's just go for a walk. She's like, no, we're going to run. I'll make a deal with you. This makes me seem like such a fat ass. She's like, if you make it on a mile run without any stops, I'll make chicken wing dip tonight. And I said, sure. Shook my hand on it. And
any chicken wing dip.
It'll be, she's got some stuff cooking in the fridge, I think. It will be made. But I did the mile, and I used to like be and still to some degree like an active person with like track and soccer, and I barely made it through the mile, let alone it wasn't on a treadmill and it wasn't on a track and there was some uphill, but like barely got it done under 10 minutes. Like, which for me is like pretty disappointing, but my PSA to people who played sports in high school and even in college, who maybe go to the gym and work out but do like static movements, and you think like you're in shape in regards of like running, or think you could run a mile in under like 9 or 8, go do it, because you may have a harsh reality check. And that was it for me. It was tough. Yeah.
I actually missed the gym last week one night. I knew I had a busy night the next night, so I woke up that morning and ran around my neighborhood a few times.
That was good for you.
But it was like kind of the same thing. It was really cold that morning. Like I had a winter hat on and stuff.
Okay.
And it like was like hurting my lungs.
Yeah.
I wasn't really winded, but I feel like still for the most part in the same boat.
I had no excuse. Today was 75 and sunny, so.
And maybe you're hot. I don't know.
No, it was just pure laziness.
I think part of it is that for me too. I mean, we're getting old. It's harder to get to the gym, but
go out and run if you can.
No, you know what? Get on a treadmill. Yeah, not that you're fat.
Get on a treadmill.
Not that you're fat.
No, we're not calling our like. I'm just saying, I didn't think I was that.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. Keep yourself in shape. So if you gotta run, you can.
Have a reality check.
Watch this podcast and all future podcasts on the treadmill. It'll pass the time by. You'll be on the treadmill for like an hour, and you'll get to listen to us, and you'll get to stay in shape.
Yeah, there's nothing more I don't want to do than be pissed at myself running. Like, can't even catch my breath and listening to me and you. There's nothing more I'd want.
I couldn't agree more.
Right? All right, you want to close this out?
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, thank you all for watching. Sorry for the lack of consistency in uploading. We've been really busy. It's kind of starting to get into, I've been really busy at work with a big project. He's in big boy school, so he's probably always got projects going on. And it's also kind of starting to get into that holiday season with Halloween. Then before you know it, it's Thanksgiving, then Christmas, and Hanukkah. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. For those that continuously do, and maybe we'll see you next week on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Peace.